This character outsold Rilakuma's games by 5 times, being the first character in San X to ever get a TV anime adaptation. It dominated Korean games across Japan for half a decade. This character is called Mamegoma, and today you can barely find it anywhere. And this is a story of how one of the most successful characters at San X became a ghost, and why what killed it wasn't exactly failure. It's May 2005, and San X announces an internal design competition, and the theme is seals. Mayumi Yonemura submits her concept, and she calls it the Azarashi Ryumu, the seal aquarium. The pitch is simple: a seal small enough to keep in a goldfish bowl at home, 12 centimeters long, 200 grams, can live in fresh or salt water, survives happily in bathtubs with ice cubes, and most importantly, they love edamame soybeans. The name eventually changes to Mamegoma, bean-sized spotted seal. It launches in May 2005 as a stationery line, coming out with first pencils, memo pads, and then erasers. 6 months later, the first picture book releases and it sells well. March 2006, Bandai releases a Mamegoma virtual pet. That also does good as well. And then something strange happens. 2007, the first Mamegoma Nintendo DS game releases. By 2009, the first 2 DS games combined have shipped over 250,000 copies. But here's what doesn't make sense about that number there. Rilakuma is San X's flagship character. It is the mascot, the poster child, the golden boy of San X. Mamegoma's DS games outsold Rilakuma's DS games by more than 5 times. 250,000 copies of Mamegoma, and around 50,000 copies for just Rilakuma. A seal that launched 2 years ago is beating a bear that's been printing money since 2003. 4 Mamegoma DS games released between 2007 and 2010, and 2 more for the Nintendo 3DS for 2012 and 2013. But the games aren't the strangest part. In January 2009, TV Tokyo begins broadcasting Kupu Mamegoma, 51 episodes produced by TMS Entertainment. This is the first San X character ever adapted into a television anime. It wasn't Rilakuma, it wasn't Kogepan, not any of the characters that came before. The picture book series expands to 10 volumes between 2005 and 2015. The first 4 volumes alone shipped 300,000 copies by January 2009. UFO catchers across Japan are stocked with exclusive Mamegoma plushies. Harajuku fashion brand ACDC Rag launches a collab collection, and at this point, there's annual theme collections coming out every year. Sheep Sleep in 2008, Sweets Factory in 2009, and Mame Mart in 2010. Between 2007 and 2010, Mamegoma isn't just successful, it's the most media successful character San X has ever produced. So what happened? The easy explanation would be just to say that it failed. Peak popularity lasts 4 years, then consumer interest drops and San X moves on. That's pretty much how it goes for any character that we know about. The anime ends in 2009 December, the last game releases in 2013, the picture book series gets wrapped up in 2015. The content stops and the character fades. Except that's not exactly what the timeline shows. Rilakuma accumulated over 250 billion yen in cumulative sales by the end of 2016. Sumiko Garashi reached approximately 20 billion yen annually by 2019. No comparable revenue figures for Mamegoma have ever been publicly disclosed. That's a little bit fishy. If Mamegoma was this successful, animes, games, books, and merchandise, where are the numbers? The DS games beat Rilakuma 5-1, but Rilakuma generated 250 billion yen across all products, and for Mamegoma, nothing was reported. So from that we can conclude, Mamegoma was the most media successful character San X ever made, but it was never the most profitable, and someone in San X noticed this gap. Rewinding time back, let's go to September 2012. San X launches a new character called Sumiko Garashi living in the corner. A polar bear who dislikes the cold, a nervous penguin who might be a kappa, and fried pork cutlet scraps. Characters designed around social anxiety and not fitting in. Within 3 years, Sumiko Garashi captures 30% of San X's original merchandise sales, approximately 5 billion yen. By 2019, that number quadruples to approximately 20 billion yen annually. And in 2019, Sumiko Garashi wins the grand prize at the Japan Character Awards. Sumiko Garashi also gets their first theatrical film, and a second one in 2020, and a third one in 2021, and then a fourth one in 2022. Mamegoma received 1 anime series, 6 video games, 10 picture books across 10 years. Sumiko Garashi received 4 theatrical films in 6 years. Sumiko Garashi expands internationally, with physical retail presence in North America, Europe, and Southeast Asia. Mamegoma's DS games were never localized though. Merchandise reached international fans only through import shops. So San X didn't kill Mamegoma, they just stopped feeding it. But there's one more layer to this. The year is 2013 and Netflix begins producing original content. 2014, Rilakuma signs with Netflix, and 2015, Rilakuma and Keoru premieres globally on Netflix. Mamegoma's peak happened before global streaming infrastructure existed, before international character licensing became standard practice, before social media made character IPs inherently viral. The anime aired on TV Tokyo in 2009. Japanese broadcast only with physical DVD releases. There wasn't Crunchyroll at the time, there was no Netflix, no TikTok, and the only airing internationally that we hear about since then is in 2022, 13 years after the anime ended, and it was on TVB Jade in Hong Kong, and it had Cantonese dubbing. Sumiko Garashi launched into an ecosystem where character IPs can go global overnight. We can see that in cases like Chikawa, but Mamegoma launches into an ecosystem where character IPs die at the border. San X looks at two characters, one that performed extraordinarily well in a limited market during a limited window, and another one that performed extraordinarily well in a global market during the streaming era. The choice isn't which character is better, the choice is which business model had a ceiling. Mamegoma didn't exactly fail, it just peaked at the wrong time. In the big 2025, if you want to buy Mamegoma merchandise, here's what you face. You can go onto the Sanix website. This is the text that shows up on their website. Limited quantity, made to order production. Now, let's go to our second choice. We can look onto third-party resellers. Rakuten has approximately 137 listings, but most of them are old stock. Mercari Japan has secondary market items, which are vintage 2005 to 2010 pieces. Now let's take a look at everything that's being sold on these third-party websites. We have standard small plushies that are around $10 to $30 USD. We have larger plushies that are $25 to $60, vintage or rare items that can go from $30 to $100, and complete sets from $50 to $150. But the most crazy one so far is the 2025 20th anniversary special plush set that's approximately $160 USD. And that's for plushies of a character that once filled crane games nationwide. And then there's a marketing angle there. Heisei Retro. Heisei Retro is Japan's Gen Z's nostalgia for early 2000s aesthetics like Tamagotchis, flip phones, and character goods from that era. The Heisei era is 1989 to 2019. Amazon Japan now markets vintage Mamegoma merchandise under Heisei Retro categorization. So the character isn't being sold as a current IP anymore, it's being sold as a museum piece. Then comes November 21st, 2025. San X opens a pop-up store at Tokyo Station. And this pop-up store is called San X Universe Pop-Up Store, which makes sense. And it was running through until December 4th. Mamegoma is featured for the first time in a long time, 20 years after its launch, at a temporary store for only 2 weeks. The character maintains an official webpage. There's annual theme collections that still continue, like Mamegoma Cafe in 2019 and I Love Fluffy in 2023. But the production volumes are a fraction of what they were in 2007, a fraction of what Sumiko Garashi produces today. A collector market exists, fans share their vintage finds, and original 2005 products are prized. International fans order through proxy services, pay premium shipping, and wait weeks for deliveries for a character that was once everywhere. So what actually happened to Mamegoma? It didn't fail, it didn't get discontinued, it didn't lose its fanbase. San X made a choice about resource allocation. Mamegoma proved to San X that they could create media successful characters with an anime, strong gaming sales, and solid merchandise presence. San X's strategy shifted to investing more deeply in individual characters. And that basically translates to there's fewer active IPs, but more resources per IP. Some characters get theatrical films and Netflix series and international retail. Some characters get annual theme collections and limited made-to-order plush sets. Mamegoma is a heritage property. It's maintained, not abandoned, but not invested in either. The 20th anniversary isn't a revival. It's proof the character has value as nostalgia. In the character merchandising industry, there are properties that grow, and there are properties that persist. Mamegoma is in permanent maintenance mode. Small releases, collector appeal, occasional anniversary acknowledgement, enough to keep the brand alive, but not enough to make it grow. The character that outsold Rilakuma's games and pioneered San X's anime presence became a case study in market timing. Mamegoma's story isn't a tragedy. It's a business decision that happened to involve something cute, something that we loved. The fans who love it in 2007 still love it in 2025. The collectors who hunt vintage pieces aren't mourning a dead character, they're preserving one that exists in a different state. San X learned from Mamegoma what worked in media. They applied those lessons to characters that launched into better infrastructure. Mayumi Yonemura designed a seal small enough to keep in a goldfish bowl, and that's exactly what happened. The character is still there, in its bowl, small, contained, and surviving, just not growing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on Mamegoma. This is my first video essay, so let me know if you have any suggestions or comments. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!